So, Scott, I'm going to start with you. You have the biggest story of the day, as far as I'm concerned, one that is developing even since some of the papers went to bed, it seems.
What, that Trump is back on Twitter?
Yeah.
Sorry. Elon Musk has made an offer, and it's been accepted. $54.20 per share, which rounds up to about 44.
Well, you know why he went for that precise sum?
Yeah, because he's a big 420 fan.
420, that's
He
right.
likes his weed. He does. Yeah. He said it many times. And I'm sure he'll use Twitter as a platform to federally legalize weed in the U.S., which would be a big step for him. He has bought it, and the council that runs Twitter at first has said they didn't want his offer, that it was too low. Mm-hmm. He lowballed it too much, and then he just said, look, I'm the richest guy in the world. What do you want? Yeah. And they named a figure, and he matched it, so that's what they get.
I mean, it is quite a lot higher than the share price was in, I think it's April the 1st or something.
Than the share price has ever been.
Yeah.
I mean, people are mystified by how Twitter even makes money, and I think that's why the shareholders have suggested this, because they'd like to see a bit of return on their investment from 20 years ago, and they're going to get it now, I think. Yeah, well, it'll be interesting to see how he monetizes, because obviously the big news is his attitude to free speech, and obviously the single greatest candidate for returning to Twitter on that, as you say, Donald J. I mean, this could actually have some significant political effects.
I suppose, although Donald Trump has said in the past that he wouldn't return to the bird, which I think he means Twitter, or who knows what.
That might be a salmonella reference. I don't know. Never reheat the bird a second time.
But, you know, if he changes his mind, we'll accuse him of lying? That'll really make a difference. So it'll be interesting. But the thing is, yes, Elon Musk says he's very much the free speech guy, but everyone thinks they're into free speech, as long as the thing you're hearing agrees with yourself. And everyone thinks that the opposing argument shouldn't be given the same free speech, although he did do a nice tweet saying that his biggest critic should still continue to tweet. So I've been busy.
Well, the proof of the pudding, as you say, no battle plan survives engagement with the enemy. But I am interested in one piece of a comment that I've seen a couple of people raise, which is that the government's in this country, the government's new proposed online safety bill will clash with this direction of travel in Twitter. I don't know if you have views on that.
I don't think anyone has total free speech. I don't see anyone saying or hear anyone saying exactly what they think. No. And when they do, if it rarely happens, they're labeled crazy. So I think that I think as comedians, we respect and admire the idea of editing or of boundaries. It makes things funnier, I think.
Well, it's a question of having license, isn't it? It's a fair point. The whole thing of being on stage and having a microphone and having lights is, this could be ironic. Don't take it too seriously. But some people think it still leaches into the... Well, what do you think, Steve? Is it possible to have free speech? I mean, it's a philosophical proposition as much as anything. Is anything we ever say...
Completely free.
Completely, in what sense is it free? Is it free of our own biases? No.
Well, then it's free of our own fear of consequences. So you definitely can be free of the fear of consequence. It's all internalised, it's all in your own head. But that free speech is definitely possible, but the right to be heard is different. You can say whatever you want, but you might end up being the guy in the corner of the pub who's ignored. Yes. You can still keep saying it.
And this is the thing with Twitter, isn't it? Because you have to choose who to follow. I always felt that there should be a little bit more leniency on that front, I suppose, but then, you're not going to have to, you're not forced to see these people's opinions.
And some people, they say whatever they want, as you say, it is true you can, but you might go to jail for it. This country people have, so...
Consequences.
Yeah, there are other consequences, right?
We shall this day light such a fire.